Yes, everyone, what's going on? This is Stephen Howson. This is Transfer Talk. Thank you guys for tuning in yet again. Please subscribe if you haven't been over here in Australia today. We've had a great day. There's been training this morning, which was a real privilege to go and see. And the boys are looking sharp, doing a lot of pressing work, which is really good to see. And some real good individual performances within all of that. We then went to a Legends Q&A later with Erwin and Brian Robson, which was awesome. And I have got a little bit of news as well, so we'll get straight into that. We've got a few ins and a few outs to ruffle through. So let's get into the one that we're all here to talk about, Harry Maguire. So United have been rumoured to have agreed an £80 million fee, world record fee for a defender, with Leicester City centre-half Harry Maguire. When breaking down the deal, loads of news outlets are suggesting it's going to be 60 million and then 20 million in add-ons. However, reliable BBC journalist says there's yet to be an agreement for the England international. He feels it's very similar to when Wan-Bissaka signed for the club. Stone says United haven't agreed a fee before we very quickly wrap that deal up with Crystal Palace. News recently has emerged that David Moyes tried to sign a 26-year-old for $4 million back in 2013 when he was Manchester United manager and when he was at Sheffield United, according to the Mirror. Now, the news I've got on Harry Maguire is that Leicester are pricing themselves out of the deal. My understanding is that United are very much interested in Maguire. I think that's been clear for a little while, but that Leicester seemingly pricing Harry Maguire out of a move of his deal. I don't know if this is them trying to play hardball. I don't know if that's going to mean that a deal doesn't get done, but 90 million, my understanding is that the club will not pay 90 million and that there is an ongoing negotiation, and I have no idea whether that means that we'll get a deal done or we won't get a deal done, but 90 million as it stands to right now, there's not going to be a deal getting done at that sort of price. So I don't know if that means we're going to start looking at Plan F and J and K and M, or if we're going to continue to pursue down the route of Harry Maguire. And that's also going to link in with what's going to happen with another centre-half, I imagine, a little further down the line. Now, Sean Longstaff, according to the Times, Sean Longstaff fears that he's being priced out of a move with Manchester United by Newcastle, with Tuanzebe placing a £50 million price tag on his head. Tyneside Club have compared the transfer fee to that United paid for Crystal Palace right back Wan-Bissaka, which seems ludicrous considering Wan-Bissaka had a season and a half of being statistically the best fullback in the Premier League. Sean Longstaff isn't even statistically the best midfielder in the Newcastle team, and he's only played 6 games. This isn't a guy that's done anything to warrant close to a £50 million fee, and you guys know my feeling on this so far. I would give Angel Gomez, Jimmy Garner, and even Dylan Levitt, who didn't even come on the tour, a go instead of paying 50 million for this guy. This is a completely different set of circumstances to that of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And for Newcastle to even think this is the same sort of circumstances. Didn't you only sell Perez for like 30, 35 million or something like that? He was your best player. Wake up, you gimps. You're not getting 50 million for him. 25 million, I'd have took a gamble. I think that's fine. 50 million, forget about that. That's absolutely ludicrous. Milinkovic Savic. This one for me feels like it's just going to be purely about whether or not Paul Pogba goes, because I don't think we're going to spend 72 million or 80 million on a guy if we've not sorted out defence or even possibly like right wing first. Milinkovic Savic is definitely our if Pogba goes card. I'm sure of it. Obviously not a totally identical player, but someone that probably operates a little bit more in the final third than most midfielders, and probably a little bit more defensive than you would probably get out of Paul Pogba, is what I reckon. So they're saying a £75 million fee is going to be required for United to sign a Serbian midfielder. United lead the race. Inter still need to offload the likes of everybody, by the looks of this, in order to sign him. 24-year-old could be a crucial addition to the United squad. I mean, I really like him. Didn't have a fantastic season last season. Really standout season was the season before. But I don't think we're getting him until we've got rid of Paul Pogba. And I think with that sort of fee, we probably couldn't afford to bring him in until we've gotten rid of Paul Pogba. So I think that one's going to be on ice just in case Pogba goes, which I don't think is looking likely, actually. I think it's looking less and less likely that he's actually going to go. Let's talk about the outs then. It looks like United are probably going to be losing Dean Henderson with him going to Sheffield United. Many are unsure whether that's going to be a permanent deal or just on loan, but United are looking to sign David De Gea on a long-term contract, which might mean that the immediate future for someone like Dean Henderson means you're not going to be the first choice at Manchester United, which, to be fair, even if David De Gea went, I don't think it's a certainty that Dean Henderson would be that guy anyway. Sergio Romero's done absolutely nothing wrong. Lots of people would also suggest that Joel Pereira is worthy of a shout as well. So not shocked to see Henderson potentially go on loan or even potentially move on. It's just one of those. You can only have so many. You can't hoard goalkeepers on the off chance. People have a career that they want to go and pursue. So it is what it is. Now, Axel Tuanzebe. We basically got told this yesterday. If you've seen the video I did with Paddock, all full-time Devils. Someone come up and told me literally as we was about to start those that he's going out on loan. Just talking about how he performed in the game with them. And he was like, he's going on loan. I was like, what? He was like, he's going on loan. And I was like, what I'd heard probably a month ago or so, something like that, was his agency was holding out on almost a take it or leave it offer. This is when that stupid offer of £8 million came in from Aston Villa, or alleged offer came in from Aston Villa. And it was either let him go permanently or give him a new contract and consider him part of the first team squad. Now, we gave him a new contract. Does that mean that everything else there, considering part of the first team squad, has to have happened as well? Or maybe as part of the negotiation, he got a good contract. There was reassurances given that, let's go and have another 30 games at Villa, this time in the Premier League. Maybe it's not even Villa, because I also hear that Bournemouth could be a place that he might go to as well. Get 30 games, come back and be considered a lot higher up the pecking order than you are right now. But I'm gutted, man, because Axel Tuanzebe, for me, was fantastic against Perth, and obviously the opposition wasn't great. But I thought he was fantastic, and he's a player that I see so many good qualities in. I'd be gutted to see him go. I'd rather him stay at Manchester United and fight. We've got 4 donuts on the books at the moment in terms of Phil Jones, Chris Smalling, Rojo, and as much as it hurts me to say, Eric Bailly, that's 4 internationals on international wages, supposed peak of their career, most of them, that aren't going to be first choice at United should United get Maguire over the line. As a backup, keep 2. Have someone like Tuanzebe as another backup, as an alternate. Why do you need 4 first choice wages, certainly, centre halves? You're going to struggle to get rid of those with the long contracts that them guys are on. So I'm not feeling that. I hope it's not true, but was told Axel's going on loan. And a final player out that we're going to talk about before we go and have a look at those Maguire stats is going to be Romelu Lukaku. Now, we did see him in training this morning. He looked fine, to be honest. There was a couple of dodgy touches, but he did look like he was actually engaged in the sessions, and he looked like he was getting in the mixer of it. I do expect he's going to go, though. And here's the news that we've got him at the moment. So the rumours are that his move to Inter could be scuppered by Icardi's reluctance to leave the club. See, Icardi's just a dick, innit? This is a domino effect as the Argentinian supposedly is interested in a move to Juventus. However, Higuain is also refusing to leave Juve, with West Ham rumoured to be in for him. United still want the minimum $75 million that they paid to Everton back in the summer of 2017. Inter's best offer as yet was $10 million loan with 2 £30 million instalments, which is an absolute piss take for a 2-year loan deal. I don't know if that's somehow to circumvent financial fair play, but it's an absolute piss take of an offer. You got to pay the cash up front, mate. That's the game, innit? Especially, do you know what? Maybe we'd be all right with yous if you weren't such dicks over the Perisic deal. You reap what you sow. Right, let's have a look at the stats then for Harry Maguire and why Manchester United are so keen on bringing this guy in. So we're going to compare the Van Dijk stats to the Maguire stats. They were signed about the same age. Well, at the same age. Obviously, Van Dijk went for what then was a world record fee. Leicester are apparently holding out for what is a world record fee. You can see what we've got up here. So, obviously, 3 goals apiece. Aerial duel success rate. Van Dijk's was a little bit higher there than Maguire's. Interceptions per 90. You're looking at Maguire being a little bit ahead on that one. Defensive duel success rate. Higher for Van Dijk than it was for Maguire. Better passing accuracy from Harry Maguire, which is interesting. Also more clearances, twice as many passes, more successful 50-50s, more accurate long balls, more duels won overall and more duels lost because he's got a lower percentage, nearly double the amount of recoveries and 16 successful 50-50s. As you can see from that there, at least Harry Maguire is at least statistically offering a lot of what Van Dijk was offering in terms of the numbers that he put up at Southampton in that final season. I don't think he's on the same level, to be honest, as Van Dijk. I think there's a lot of a real classy sort of vibe about Van Dijk, that there's a bit of a skittishness about Maguire, but he is an absolute level up on what United have got in terms of centre-half. And he comes in and he's undoubtedly our best defender, I think. A threat in both boxes. Probably more of a leader than we've got at centre-half, unfortunately, because I don't think he's a patch on any of our previous captains, current incumbent aside. And he's an absolute top signing for us. Is the money a lot? Yeah, it is. But it was a lot for Wan-Bissaka. It's arguably a lot for Dan James, considering. We was talking to Robbo and Dennis Irwin tonight, and they were $1 million and 500k each when we signed them. And now $1 million doesn't sound like a lot nowadays, because it's it's what we're paying Sanchez for an afternoon's work apparently. But $1 million was more than 50% of United's turnover when we signed Brian Robson, which is the equivalent of us signing a player now for $300 million. And you go, yeah, all right, Brian Robson was probably worth 50% club turnover at the time that we signed him. Is Harry Maguire going to be worth anywhere near that? No. Was Pogba? No. Is anyone? Probably not, to be honest. But this is the game that we're in, and United do need investment on the pitch. Smart investment. I think Wan-Bissaka was definitely that. Dan James, I think the jury's going to be out on until we see him, probably for at least a year. You've got others that you've got question marks over, like Fred, and others that undoubtedly there's no question mark and they need to be out of the squad. But moving them has proven to be hard because we give nice fat contracts. And why would you want to leave United once you're already here? Big transfer window for us, but we're right into the thick of pre-season games. And by the time that Cardiff AC Milan game rolls round, you're a few days away from the transfer window ending, and then the season starts. It feels like there's not a lot of time to get this done, and I don't want to see us rush this. If Fernandes is someone that we've been working on, and I had a bit of news on Fernandes, actually, I didn't put it on my notes. So Fernandes, United are interested in him, but not as interested as the Portuguese media would have you believe. So all of those, it's done, it's imminent, all that kind of stuff, it's not that close. Although he is interested, and I wonder if that's a case of, if he goes, does he come in? Now, maybe we might be looking, we're not really linked with anyone outside of Ben Yedder for a striker, and that's kind of gone quiet a little bit. If someone like Lukaku does eventually go, is the domino effect of him going that we bring in Bruno Fernandes to play off one of the other lads instead of a direct replacement in terms of a striker, because we might be happy with what we've got in that area. A lot of you probably don't think we should be, but maybe the coaching staff are, who knows. Right, that is going to do it from me. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to go and check out the vlog if you've not seen it already. We're going to do some proper touristy shit tomorrow, so there's going to be a vlog from that, and then obviously we've got Leeds United on Wednesday, back at the Optus Stadium, and then we're heading off to Singapore. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to get your comments in, like, subscribe, all that kind of caper, and I'll see you in the next one. Laters.